breaking news in the last 30 seconds, direct from the Royals, announcing a 14-year contract agreement with Bobby Witt Jr. We were talking earlier on the show that talks seemed to be very positive. They said to Josh Vernier, J.J. Piccolo said that they would like to get that done before the start of the season as they didn't want to have discussions there. Well, they did. 11 years guaranteed, 14-year agreement. We don't have dollar figures yet or anything like that. That'll certainly come out very, very soon. Tomorrow, a press conference scheduled out at Kauffman Stadium at 10 o'clock, right at the start of our show. We'll obviously carry some of that, to say the least. The biggest contract, we know it'll be that in Royals history. 14-year agreement with Bobby Witt Jr. How about that?
That's a big deal.
How about it? Awesome. That is massive news for this franchise long term. I know we're on Radio Row, but my goodness, that's about as big of a news as you can get. That's going to actually get you to talk non-Chief football.
Give me a not talk?
Hell yeah.
Wow. Look, congratulations to the Royals. That is a massive contract and a huge one for this organization. Obviously the biggest one they've ever committed to on any player under really any circumstance other than giving George Brett a lifetime contract at some point. Again, the figures will be interesting, but the fact that the Royals have agreed to a 14-year contract agreement with the Kansas City Royals is massive news. Look, we're looking to get our guy Josh Vernier on the air, but there is no way I expected them to announce that news today. I literally just told you to do it.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we're just riding high in KC. Are you kidding me right now? Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and Bobby Witt Jr., one of the best young stars in baseball, is locked up with the Royals. Long term, this is absolutely fantastic news for the Royals. I do not care the numbers. We'll break it down.
I'll be fascinated to see the numbers, yeah.
I want to see the numbers, but this is a no-brainer deal. I'll be honest with you. This is a no-brainer, no doubt, have-to-do-it deal if you're the Kansas City Royals because Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the premier players in the sport. And you are now going to keep him in Kansas City until he's what? In his mid to late 30s, hypothetically, if he sees the full 14 years of this contract. He's agreed to be a Kansas City Royal for life. For life, essentially.
11 years guaranteed, as you said, and the Royals just put out a social media clip and said the present, the future, and the largest contract in franchise history with a photo of Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. also himself tweeted out the very famous GIF as well, saying, "I'm not leaving." From Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio. We've all seen that scene.
Yeah.
That's what he tweeted that out with a handshake emoji at Royals. And so it is official. It is a done deal. What a great day to be a Royals fan. And as you said, a great time just to be a Kansas City sports fan, to have a franchise pillar locked in. And the trickle-down effect to that. We'll go ahead and JT cut what's trending because obviously this is huge news. So
that's the only thing that's trending now.
Yeah, and we're here on Radio Row, and we're going to talk plenty of Chiefs throughout the week. But this is massive news, breaking news from the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr., a 14-year contract, 11 years guaranteed. The trickle-down effect, Cody, for if you're Vinny Pasquantino and you're sitting on that team, and now you know this guy's not going anywhere. If you're any of the young pieces, Melendez, Cole Reagan, whoever, we can keep going, right? Any of the young pieces of this franchise, what that says. Heck, if you're a future free agent that's considering signing with the Royals next year or whatever, beyond this year, and looking at signing a long-term deal yourself, if you're in that position, to know that one of the best players in baseball and perhaps a future star.
The contract is an 11-year extension worth $288.7 million. That is $200 million more than the Royals have ever given any player ever, okay? That's $200 million than they've ever committed to a player. So it's a 14-year deal, 3 on the original, and an 11-year, $288.7 million contract extension.
Jeez.
That is such a big number, and I love it. I love it. How am I not supposed to love this deal, Gold? This is fantastic news for this organization and a massive move overall.
This is the contract I think everybody dreamed that their franchise that they've been rooting for could finally pull off. How many years did we talk in Kansas City about whether it was ownership or just this organization, like will they ever sign a player? Can they ever sign a player to a deal like that? One, you got to have the talented player, and they do, clearly. And Bobby Witt Jr. But are you willing to retain said talent? How many times have we gone through this club's history? The one that comes to mind is Beltran, right? Where we all knew they were going to trade him away, going way, way back. they trade him away. And the thought is, oh, when you got a young core, that's great. You better win during a certain period because you're not going to be able to retain that young talent. This puts, at least for this particular superstar, to rest that they are going to be able to retain them. $288 million, man. Look. Never did I think I'd be saying that kind of deal for the Kansas City Royals with a player, period. And it's a homegrown talent, a super young. I still think the best is yet to come for him. I think we all do. This is phenomenal news to be a Royals fan. And talk about even more momentum heading into the year. I already felt good about what they did this offseason, bringing in veterans like Michael Wacha, starting to look at where this division is and how it's there for the taking. You want to talk about morale and what this does and the trickle-down effect, fan base. I mean, also, let's not kid ourselves, there's a stadium situation. I mean, perfection timing-wise. This is a great setup for years to come for the Royals.
I'm not going to yet speculate, although I think we can do that, on what this does for the stadium deal and whether or not it gets voted. But look at it from just a second. We have been asking John Sherman to commit money to this organization to prove that he is serious about winning. He spent a few years just kind of laying in the weeds, right? Where you're saying, hey, I get it. The team's young. You want to evaluate. He evaluated who was good, and after evaluating that, he went for $288 million to give it to Bobby Witt Jr. Evaluation complete. That is a massive sign that John Sherman is willing to spend more money than any owner ever has in this city. Again, less than $90 million is the biggest contract this organization has ever handed out. They just gave someone $200 million more than that. They've never even had a $100 million contract in their history, and now they're giving Bobby Witt Jr. that kind of cash. To me, this is real serious about winning. This is, we will do anything to keep this caliber of player in this organization and they're not going to stop spending there. Then you have to throw all the resources at it. Otherwise, you're just giving Bobby Witt Jr. money to do nothing. That can't be the plan.
Yeah, and this is putting your money where your mouth is. The John Sherman comments in the past about, hey, when the time is right, we're going to spend money. We're going to, last year was an evaluation year. We don't want to have that year again. And the way they acted this offseason, I should say, to spend, potentially $100 million on future contracts and bringing in veterans. And, J.J. Piccolo talked to Vern over the weekend about, there was a point where they felt pretty good about the offseason, but then they realized there was an opportunity to go one step further. They did that. And then now add on locking up the franchise, right, the piece of the future. On a 14-year deal, as you said, 11 new years on it, but still lock him up for 14 years. We're getting the first comments from Bobby Witt Jr. now as well, just from his Twitter account, his official Twitter account, saying, quote, I am incredibly grateful to the Sherman family and the Royals front office for believing in me, and I promise to do everything in my power to help bring championship baseball back to Kansas City. Let's go. That's from Bobby Witt Jr., who will speak tomorrow at a press conference, and we'll have Vern join us here in just a little bit, our Royals insider.
What a time to be a Kansas City fan. What a time to be a Kansas City fan. You're going to get a new downtown ballpark. You got a $300 million player for the first time ever. The Chiefs are, we're in Vegas because they're in the Super Bowl. The momentum of the city is incredible. I didn't know if they'd ever pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they would ever make the move in order to take that kind of risk, because I don't pretend like this doesn't come with risk for the organization, okay? I understand that. I understand that when you sign somebody that kind of contract, if it goes poorly, you could be in real trouble for winning for a long time in this city. He is absolutely, without question, the type of player that you should take that risk on. Look at the talent, man. Look at the players at his age or younger that have had 30 seasons. Look at the players his age or younger that have had this type of statistical impact on a baseball roster. And I absolutely love it. You're right. For the momentum of just even this season, how could you not feel incredible going into this? Also, Bobby Witt Jr. used to just pay for the whole team to get to the Super Bowl. Sign the damn contract. Get the whole team some tickets. Vinny was saying to us, remember, he's like, well, that's Bobby Witt Jr. Vinny, get your boy. See if Bobby hook you up with a ticket now. I think he can afford it. He's getting, remember, it's baseball. He's getting every cent of that $288 million. Every penny is hitting his contract at some point.
now you just really can't wait for opening day. I mean, there was already the excitement, but now opening day, and I think tickets were on sale last week or whatever, that thing's selling out in a heartbeat now. The moment, I mean, people already wear Bobby Witt Jr. jerseys. That's not new. But if you were questioning, like, some people, am I going to buy a jersey till I know for sure? Oh, go ahead and buy that jersey.
That's the Mahomes one for the Royals.
Yep.
You're good on that one for an eternity.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to go buy a Bobby Witt Jr. jersey. Now he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
You're going to sell your cleats now?
No, those, by the way, those just got a lot more impressive. Those I feel even better about the cleats I won at the charity auction of the signed not game worn, but the signed Bobby Witt Jr. cleats. Yeah, feeling pretty good about that. And now that I know that he's going to be a Royal for a long time, and you're right, there's pressure to build around him still, but you had to prove to him that you were willing to build around. I think this offseason, the moves, we'll find out when he speaks tomorrow, but how much did what the Royals did this one offseason in terms of saying, hey, we know we were evaluating this past year. It was a disastrous season. Nobody liked that whatsoever. The very next offseason, they go out and show with their money, and John Sherman gives the approval for JJ to go build a winner and a team that can be competitive in the AL Central, Cody, real quick.
More contract details are out.
Yeah, and let me finish the thought, and we'll get to the latest numbers. You're willing to do that. I'm sure if we were to ask Bobby Witt Jr., and Vern will have a chance tomorrow, that is a huge part of why this thing got done on top of it. That you showed that you're willing to help build around him. Because you can have – we've seen this with stars in baseball. You can have Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, but if you don't have other players around, it doesn't matter. So they're going to have to continue to build around Bobby Witt Jr., but you talk about locking up the most important piece. They did that. You got some more details on some numbers.
Yeah, Andy Rogers putting out how we get to the 14-year agreement we mentioned. So it is a 11-year, $288.7 million deal. Player opt-outs are after years 7, 8, 9, and 10. So technically, Bobby Witt Jr. has a lot of outs in his contract, but at least 7 more years of him in Kansas City, could be longer. There's also, at the end of the contract, a 3-year team option that could make the deal worth $377.7 million.
Okay.
That's why it's a 14-year deal. So he's got 7 years he's going to be here anyway. After year 7, he can opt out 8, 9, whatever, if he's worth even more than he's worth now. And then at the end of this thing, the Royals would have a 3-year, if he doesn't opt out at any of those points, they'd have a 3-year team option could make the deal upwards of worth $377 million.